So Black Adam versus Shazam. Who would win an epic battle between the two? Well, I guess we'll never see an actual film at the box office about those two. But I guess as far as box office draw, it's going to be Shazam. So let's talk about the cinematic feud that never really was in my rant of the DCU. Let's go. So before I get too cranky about this, because you're not going to like me if I'm cranky, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that normal YouTube stuff. And then let's get on to my rant about the DCU. Yeah, I've always been a fan of the DC comics over Marvel comics. I love Batman and Superman. So, you know, The Rock planned for his Black Adam project to be out for way over a decade. When he thought that the time was right, he made his dream movie and even starred in what was going to seem to be a role that he was born to play. So what happened? Hollywood insiders labeled Black Adam as a bomb. But was it really that bad? I saw the movie. I really liked it. Check out my review on the channel of Black Adam. So the movie obviously took place in the same cinematic universe as Shazam. They seemed destined to lock up eventually in a future movie. And to cement his status as a new DC hero, The Rock brought in Henry Cavill also at the end of his movie to cameo as Superman. Something that the Shazam creators they failed to do that in their first film. At the end of their film, we got this lame-ass Superman cameo from the neck down. Yeah, that's why it was so lame. So what happened with Black Adam? Did The Rock really create a flop? I don't think so. I just think that the level of expectation placed on these two different movies, these two different characters, was very unrealistic and unfair to begin with. So the first Shazam was a one-off story, and it had very little link into the DCU other than that lame Superman cameo at the end, like I mentioned. It cost about $100 million to make, and it made over $250 million in profit worldwide from what I can remember. Let's say the Black Adam, though, it had a lot more cost. It cost about $200 million to make. But it made almost $400 million worldwide. So when is $200 million worth of profit considered a flop? I guess in this case.
And you know this, man?
Well, it's all about the high expectations and the egos that took place in this movie. The Rock is a megastar. And most of the smaller scale roles that he's played over time have turned into box office gold. So at the time, DC had no direction creatively or professionally behind the scenes. And so The Rock busted in the door and took over. Of course, what he was going to do is try to reboot things his own way. And if Warner had put their machine behind him and the DCU at the time, maybe they would have not gotten into the shape they were in to begin with, you know, like the Snyderverse. So The Rock, yeah, of course he had an ego, but he had the right to do so at the time. Like I said, the DCU was in shambles, and he was going to be the savior in his own mind. Look back at the history of what went on. Justice League, failure. Wonder Woman 84, that was a turd that nobody could polish. They canceled the Batgirl movie that was supposed to come out recently. They even canceled Michael Keaton coming back in his iconic role as Batman in that movie. They then canceled the thought of a future project that Keaton could be in Batman Beyond. That got canceled before it could even hit the ground running. They canceled Henry Cavill's return as Superman after what they considered the flop of Black Adam. That means they got rid of Ben Affleck as Batman as well. I even hear behind the scenes they hated the Wonder Woman 3 script so bad they ran the director off. I've heard that Jason Momoa thinks that the next Aquaman movie is such a mess that he doesn't even want to be associated with it. So the whole DCU was a complete disaster at this time. What did they expect?
This is some bullshit right here.
So now I'm looking at the expectations of Shazam. They say the Warner execs expected the new movie to make between $35 and $40 million during the opening weekend. When was the bar set so low for success? Oh yeah, well, this one has no expectation to make big money, I guess. So why do you think that they spoiled the Wonder Woman cameo, in this movie, in the latest trailer? I say it's all about ego. But this time, it's James Gunn's ego. I don't think he's even made up his mind right now about whether Gal Gadot is going to be the future Wonder Woman in his universe or not. And I think he's doing this to tease the few of us who kind of liked where the DCU was going at the time, to make us think there's potential with her as Wonder Woman. But then also, why keep the Flash movie going? I've heard they cut scenes that were totally related to Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne at the end, and they also cut some scenes related to the new Supergirl. So it looks like they're also going to be adding a new ending that's going to link the Flash movie into this new rebooted DCU. I hope all of this does make sense in the end, because it hasn't made sense up until now. So I also heard behind the scenes that Peacemaker isn't going to be canceled. It's just kind of delayed until other projects get going. Well, of course, that's a Gunn creation, even though that directly linked into the old Justice League. So I don't want Shazam to fail, but I just don't care at this point. I'm going to wait for home video, and I'm not supporting it at the box office. I cared about Black Adam because I like the idea of Henry Cavill coming back as Superman. I love the idea of Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. He was my Batman.
I'm Batman.
But now I hope they didn't ruin that. I also don't want James Gunn to fail, don't get me wrong. But Warner Brothers and DC needs to seriously get behind these ideas now and not let them die along the way, just like they did. The Rock was not the kryptonite to the DCU after all, like everybody thinks. I think he's getting a bad name, and he had to take the pinfall for their disaster up until that point. Finally! So like I said, different sets of expectations have been set moving forward. Like I hope Shazam is a success, but it won't be if they're relying on this pop culture reporter. So what do you think of Shazam, or the potential of it being a hit? And what do you think of the future of the DCU? Do you like the route it's going? I'm going to have a wait and see attitude, but I think it's all going to hinge with me on what they do with the Flash and how they end that. So like I said, I think The Rock got a bad rep, and I think he was set up to take the pinfall, and I don't think it was fair for him. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let me know what you think of the DCU. Let me know what you think in the past, what they should have kept, and what you think they're going to do in the future moving forward, and what parts you're going to like. Speaking of like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the normal YouTube stuff on the channel. Keep supporting me, and I'll keep making great content, including my ideas like this. So until next time, boys and girls, this is JevMan316, your pop culture reporter, signing out, saying you guys be safe out there.